Oh snap! Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Moltrap, and I have just had my mind blown. I was just happened to be caught in between games here by Rainman MP, a longtime SC2GG, I don't know what you call it, attendee. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, he's been around for a while. I actually met him once at the WCG US finals a couple years ago. And anyway, he was telling me that it's actually one best of 7. There's only one best of 7 for the finals. I thought they would have all these crazy things for the finals and multiple best of 7s like they have for the playoffs, but this is only a single best of 7. It is coming all down to this match, ladies and gentlemen, to this set. And wow, so this is even more at stake than I thought. Here in Game 4, Tempest versus S2. I'm going to go back and try and put a, if I can find it, and if I remember to, if I have the time, I'm going to go back and try and put an annotation in when I mentioned what the deal was with the finals before, but if I don't get to it, now you know that it is actually a single best of 7, and here KT is up 2-1, having a decent advantage here in this best of 7 that's going to determine who is the Pro League champions. All of it's come down to this. This entire year has come down to this set, and wow. So this is hardcore stuff here. And I was like, "Are you sure about that?" But he was like, "Yeah, well, I mean, they wouldn't book the beach for 3 days." And if it was a best of 3, best of 7, then like they'd want to make sure that the clincher was huge, but they couldn't know if it was going to be 2 or 3 days, and so they wouldn't know which day was going to be the biggest day. And so I'm like, oh yeah, it's true. So it makes sense for the finals to just be a single best of 7, so they know when the final day is. So yeah, this is going to be, excuse me, this is it. This is what it's all coming down to, and I just realized that the intro there was showing when KT F won the Pro League and when SKT T1 won the Pro League in past seasons. So, yeah, and these teams. I mean, this is a major rivalry here. You know, these basically are the two teams that have been. These are the two teams. Sorry, these are the two teams that have been in the finals of past. Pro Leagues, if that makes any sense. You know, especially back in the old days when T1 was kind of the big name. You know, then one of their major rivals was. Sorry about that. I was looking stuff up in the background here, and I was right. It was actually in 2005 is when it was when they were kind of the two big teams, and that was when SKT T1 was dominant in Pro League, and you know, they battled KT in the first round finals and in the grand finals, when it used to be that they'd have kind of two distinct rounds of the Pro League, and then the winner of the first round would face the winner of the second round in the finals. Anyway, so this is there's some legacy going on here in this match between SKT and KT. SKT won the champions of the Sky 2005 Pro League, now meeting here again in the ShinHan Bank Pro League Grand Final from the 09-010 series. Or I guess it wouldn't be 010. Well, it would be 010, sort of. Anyway, so we got S2 in the top left-hand corner, the yellow Zerg player, and we have Tempest, the red Protoss player representing KT, in the bottom left-hand corner. It still feels weird to not say KTF. I always want to say KTF. I have to physically stop myself from completing the F after I say KT. Anyway, so it looks like we've got a PVZ here. We got Tempest setting up a pylon for a fast expansion, a forge expansion, as is generally the norm in PVZ. I'm anxious to see what's going to go on here. This is Grand Line, which is a really interesting map. You can see that it's 4 corners, spawns, and it's got this ridge, this giant ridge going straight down the middle of the map from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And it's interesting how the spawn positions change things a lot, because if they spawned, you know, top left and top right, instead, then there would be a big ridge in the middle, which might affect things. You know, lurkers on the ramp or something like that might change things around. But in this case, it's going to be a more ground-based battle because there isn't that ridge between them. But there is a ridge for flanking, though, because then you can go up onto that ridge and go down the middle of the map, or up the middle of the map, and flank in that fashion. So, oh, what's going on here? Is he going to build a Nexus? Oh my gosh, he's going to build a Nexus blind! Wow. Wow, Tempest building. I don't think Tempest has a scout in his base, and he's going to build a Nexus blind on this 4-player map, just banking on the fact that he won't be able to scout his location very quickly at the very least, but it looks like he is going to scout his location because this probe is heading up, and is it going to get seen by the Overlord? Sees the probe, so he knows that he has to be in that bottom left position, but unfortunately he has gone, if he'd gone for like a 9-pool speed or something like that build, then it would be over. The game would be over right now because he'd be able to rush in there before cannons were in, and it would be pretty ridiculous because he went for that Nexus blind first, I think. Maybe he went for the Forge first, and I'm just tripping. Okay, I'm just tripping. Never mind. Never mind. My bad. Oh, gosh, I look like an ass. Anyway. Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, so he does have a spawning pool up now, and he's going to be able to get some Zerglings out, but Tempest is going to be able to get cannons up behind there. He's got a gateway as well, morphing in. He was able to scout that out and see that it was a 12 hatch, and I believe he was able to, by knowing that, he was able to get down that gateway before his cannon, so you can get that tech going as quickly as possible. Zerglings are underway. He's mining gas. He's going to get that lair up pretty soon, too. So best mussing his hair there a little bit. Anyway, this is a must-win situation for S2. They are behind 2-1. He needs to get his team tied up back in the series. Otherwise, it's going to be 3-1, and you just can't have that because Flash is almost guaranteed to win. You don't really... SKT T1 just doesn't have anyone that can face Flash. So they gotta finish it off now. Or they gotta get a... They can't let it get to a 3-3 situation. They're gonna have to have Flash get that third win, and then face someone else for that final win in an ace match or something like that, because otherwise it's just gonna be, it's just too hard to beat Flash. So this is a really, really tough situation for Tempest and S2. S2 has got to win this game. He's off to a good start. Well, I mean, it's off to a neutral start, I guess would be a better way of saying it. Neither player has really gotten an advantage over the other just yet, and it's gonna come down to this mid-game play. This mid-game play is so important in PvZ lately. The Protoss, the Zerg player can very easily set up defenses at the expansions. SimCity has gotten very, very good. Players have gotten very, very good at setting up their bases to be very protective, to face a lot of zealots with very few forces and just a couple sunkens, and hold off any early attacks. But there is a window between, and we got a second Stargate coming up, by the way. There is a window between when they get that down, when they get their bases up, and when the defenses go up. And sometimes the Zerg players will delay a little bit too long in getting those defenses up, trying to just play the odds and get drones out instead of defenses, get mining out, and get their economy going. And sometimes if they wait a little bit too long, a timing attack can just stomp down on them. And so it's very, very tenuous, back and forth sort of betting almost, where both players are trying to hold off as long as possible on getting that defenses. And the Protoss player as well has to hold off on getting extra cannons as long as possible to try and get their econ going. Anyway, 2 Stargates are out, so he's going to try and take major control of the air right now. His first Corsair is out already. It's going to be able to do some major damage to Overlords, probably kill off an Overlord or 2. Second Corsair is probably going to be able to kill off an Overlord as well. He's going to send it another direction, and he's going to be able to take easy control of that air, and I'm really worried for S2 right now. Look at that, 2. Yeah, he's got him rallied different directions. He's going to try and hunt Overlords all over the map, try and supply block. Spire is up, but there's larvae sitting around. I don't see any eggs. He may not have the Overlords for building Scourge to try and fight off those Corsairs. Okay, he's got eggs morphing now, so he probably is building some. He must have hatched some Overlords somewhere. He's going to be building Scourge somewhere. Cannons are going up in the main just in case he does go for some Mutalisk or something like that. It's good to have those around. But he's got, I think, 4 Corsairs out, 3 or 4 Corsairs out now. He's killed off a few different Overlords. Scourge are now on the way. He's going to have to protect those Corsairs now, which is going to be a little bit difficult.